Welcome to this podcast for Brighton School of Business and Management students studying for the Btec Level 5 courses. For this unit you'll need to satisfy the criteria exactly as laid down in the assignment brief and as described here, but you should wherever possible use examples from the strategic marketing management activity taking place in your own organisation and business sector, as well as showing evidence of having studied the unit topics in depth and breadth by referring, where appropriate, to relevant models, theories and established best practices. To enhance your understanding of these assignment issues, we strongly advise that you also discuss them with senior managers and senior marketing staff within your own organisation and within your own business sector. Each section should be approximately 375 words, although this is flexible up to around 450 words, not including graphics or illustrations, so you'll need to keep your responses focused on what is being specifically asked for in each section. Section 1, which is looking at marketing audits. There are several different auditing models or techniques, of which SWOT, Steeple and PESTLE are probably some of the most common, although there are others which you should make yourself familiar with. Then you need to identify a specific marketing situation or scenario, ideally from your own organisation or one that you can research, and then apply auditing techniques to this situation to provide a clear, meaningful analysis of the important issues. And keep in mind you're being asked to audit the internal and external factors, or organisational and environmental factors as they are phrased in the question. Section 2, bullet point 1, is really looking at the issues surrounding an organisation's own ability or inability to embrace the marketing planning process. This is likely to cover a range of topics including cultural, organisational, cost and personnel issues. You need to explain why and in what circumstances these issues could become barriers, and remember that this section is looking specifically at barriers to marketing planning, so not at this stage barriers to implementing a marketing campaign or strategy. The second part of section 2 is fairly self-explanatory. Having identified the barriers in bullet point 1, you now need to suggest how organisations can overcome these barriers to marketing planning. Section 3, I think the key to producing a good marketing plan for this part of the assignment is choosing the right product or service, ideally one related to your own organisation or one that you can research, and if you have any concerns about this, it would be worth discussing them with your tutor before starting this part of the assignment. Bullet point 1, you need to consider the value of innovation here as it applies to all aspects of the marketing process. So not just product innovation, but innovative marketing communications campaigns, innovative customer service and so on. Some real-world examples of marketing innovation across a broad range of marketing activities would be very useful here. Under bullet point 2, there are several topics you might want to consider. You could make reference to Ansoff's matrix as a simple overview of strategic options. As well as entirely new products, you might want to give some thought to new products based on existing products, either a company's own products or those of its competitors, and product modification to extend an existing product's life cycle. You could also give some thought to market research and test marketing, and to the factors that have to be considered before deciding whether or not a new product should be launched. On bullet point 3, this is where your choice of product or service becomes particularly important, so make sure that you've chosen a product or service that is interesting or complex enough to allow you to demonstrate a broad knowledge of the subject, and also one that allows you to put forward some imaginative ideas to incorporate into your marketing plan. You need to make sure that you have mechanisms in place that will allow you to monitor all aspects of the marketing mix, and mechanisms that will allow you to measure the success of the marketing programme. And to do this, of course, you will need something to measure performance against, which might be sales forecasts, industry benchmarks, or the performance of existing products or services within the company's portfolio. Whatever these performance measures are, you need to identify them in your plan. Finally, the work you have done on the previous bullet points should now be distilled down into a clear, concise and logically set out marketing plan for your chosen product or service. Section 4, which is looking at ethics in marketing. Bullet point 1 is pretty self-explanatory. You need to identify and research 2 examples of ethical marketing or ethical marketing responses, but make sure you choose examples which are complex or interesting enough to allow you to demonstrate that you have a broad knowledge of this subject. For bullet point 2, there are many issues you could look at here which could cover all of marketing's 4 Ps. Consider as well that ethics has to be seen in context. For example, a trader selling a few counterfeit CDs so that he can send his children to school may be breaking the law, but has he really done anything which is ethically wrong? And don't forget to give some consideration to consumer ethics here, as well as corporate and marketing ethics. On the last bullet point, you should ideally choose your own organisation or one that you can research and explain with actual examples how ethical issues have impacted on the marketing mix and on the company's marketing activities. You can then decide how your chosen organisation has responded to these ethical challenges and perhaps how it might respond in the future. Finally, if you need any further help or assistance with this assignment, please contact your tutor.